presented by the Strong Blue Line Foundation and powered by Moose Ridge Coffee in Snake River Landing, Idaho Falls. Welcome to the podcast, where former San Antonio police officer, author, and pastor Tim Rupp walks you through real-life scenarios involving our police officers and digs into the depths of facts and opinions on each case. This is Cop Talk, and it starts now.
Hello and welcome to the Strong Blue Line's Cop Talk. I'm Tim Rupp in the Rev.FM studio in beautiful Idaho Falls. Here with me is Gary Manager. Station Manager Gary. What is wrong with me today, Gary?
I don't know. It
must
Tim.
be the springtime. I mean, Easter's behind us now.
Mm-hmm.
Early Easter this year.
Yeah.
In March, landed in March.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys all went to the Easter services.
Yeah.
Great services here with the
it really was.
with the production and everything going on.
Yeah,
So
it was really good.
that was cool. But anyways, here we are.
Yep.
And April, looking forward to the warmer weather, but
me too.
April is up and down.
Yep,
You
just
never
don't know.
Wind, rain, snow. Who knows what you can get in April?
But an opportunity for you to get out on your bike. That's good.
Yes, it is.
You enjoy that kind of stuff.
I do enjoy riding the bike, and so does the wife. And so April we're traveling a lot.
Yeah.
That's
exciting.
Going down south to Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, everywhere south. So we're on the road a lot this month.
That's cool.
And when we get back, I think I'm going to see if I can get Sherry to come on.
That'll be perfect. Yeah, I did.
Tell about her travels and stuff.
It'd be great to have her on. Yeah. Yep.
She'd do this better than I can. That's for sure.
The Tim and Sherry Show.
The Tim and Sherry Show.
Yep.
Hosted by Gary. Tim and Sherry, hosted by Gary. Okay, hey, let's get to this.
Let's do it. Come on.
We got some serious stuff to talk about. But let's talk about the Officer Down Memorial Page. Once again, brought to you by Officers Down Memorial Page. So officers who were killed, who were killed in the line of duty on this date, April 3rd, I've got Sheriff James B. Rogers. I've noticed a trend in a lot of the older ones. A lot of the sheriffs themselves are the ones. The sheriff was at the forefront, man. It's like today, sheriffs are really just administrators.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly.
That's true.
But
not out on the field as much.
Back in the old days, man, they were out there. And this is
right.
Freestone County Sheriff's Office in Texas.
Oh.
You know where Freestone County Sheriff's Office is in Texas?
I have no idea.
It's south of Dallas. It's between Dallas and Houston.
Okay.
Almost halfway, but closer to Dallas.
Oh.
So I looked it up. I didn't know where it was. I looked it up. That's where it's at. But this is April 3rd, 1872. So here we are, right in the middle of the Old West.
Yeah.
1870. Several months prior to the incident, Sheriff James Rogers had arrested the suspects for horse stealing. So the guys he's going to deal with, he had arrested them for horse stealing. They were horse thieves. During that incident, his deputy was shot, and Sheriff Rogers pursued the thieves alone and arrested them.
Huh.
Man, this is out of Hollywood.
It sure is.
This is straight out of Hollywood. On March 30th, 1872, Sheriff Rogers was summoned to his stable when he and another sheriff from a visiting county or something, he must have been there visiting with the sheriff, arrived. Sheriff Rogers was shot and killed. The other sheriff was able to return fire, killing one suspect. The second suspect was captured a short time later and executed, apparently without a trial. It doesn't say anything. It just said he was captured and executed. So that may have been That may have been Old West vengeance. I don't know. It doesn't say. I tried to find some more information on this. It was very interesting to me.
That is interesting.
On it. Sheriff Rogers had been with the Freestone County Sheriff's Office for 3 years. He is survived by his wife and 4 children, 35 years old.
3
so
years
young.
He
served. 3 years.
Yeah.
So he didn't even finish out his first tenure.
No. He was fairly older, for joining the force, but that's back then in those days, it was different.
Anyways,
go
ahead. So who do you have there, Gary?
So this is Detective Benjamin James Campbell, end of watch in 2019, Maine State Police. And, this incident, it's just one of those strange mishaps. It very, very different. But Detective Ben Campbell was struck and killed by a vehicle tire while assisting at the scene of a disabled vehicle.
Wow.
So what happened was he came across a vehicle that had slid off the interstate due to inclement weather, and so he stopped to provide assistance. As he was standing outside of his vehicle, two wheels of a passing logging truck separated from that vehicle, and one of the wheels' tires struck Detective Campbell.
Wow. And
he was transported to a hospital where he passed away. So very interesting. Just one of those
freak. What do they call them? Freak accident.
Yeah, freak accident. That's it.
You're out there. Wow.
Yeah. So he had served with the Maine State Police for 9 years, and he was assigned to the polygraph unit, and he had survived by his wife and a 6-month-old son. So 31 years old.
Yeah, so a logging truck was going by and two wheels come off a logging truck. I remember last month, about the middle of last month, I saw something, and I remember it because I just got back from flying United that same day, but a tire come off a United airplane.
Oh.
It fell off.
Yeah.
It just fell off. It's like, what in the world? How does a tire fall off an airplane? Well, how does two tires come off, two wheels come off a logging truck? And obviously there's some kind of human error. Mm-hmm. Now, it could have been, faulty steel in the bolts or something that really
just severed off, yeah.
Chances are, though, somebody wasn't keeping up with the maintenance. Don't know for sure, but that's why it's so important to keep up with maintenance. And a lot of state highway police officers, that's what they do. They check these 18-wheelers, to make sure, because these guys are hauling heavy loads.
Yeah.
They have to check their brakes and all this stuff. And I know truckers get upset with, going through all the regulations, which is understandable. However, they need to be maintained.
Yeah.
Vehicles, equipment need to be maintained so you don't have this stuff happening. Mm-hmm. A freak, terrible accident. But anyways, that's too bad. Just never know. And he was detective on the way to work, so he's probably in a patrol car. Mm-hmm. He's probably just doing detective work and saw somebody, and what does a policeman do? They stop and they help.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Very unfortunate.
What a strange case. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. Anyways, here we go. Oh, I want to mention you can catch Archive Cop Talk on various podcast platforms. Gary's put them on Amazon, Google, Apple, and Spotify. So go to any of them if you want to catch one of our archive shows.
Yes, and on YouTube now.
YouTube now.
Yeah, Google Podcasts is no more.
Oh, okay. So it's YouTube.
So it's YouTube. On the Rev channel. Yeah.
On the Rev channel. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So.
All right. There you go, man.
Yeah.
We're everywhere. Pretty soon we'll have to get the video. We talked about that.
We did.
Maybe video on YouTube.
We'll take care of that.
Yeah, okay. Oh, no. I don't know if they want that. That may lower our ratings, Gary.
That's true.
They may go down the tank. Anyways, we got this caught my eye. This is from Law Enforcement Today, and this is an opinion piece, okay? So let's give that
There you go. Yeah, good point.
Disclaimer, if you will. When we get opinion pieces, I try to remember to let you know this is just an opinion from Pat Droney of writing for Law Enforcement Today. The title of it is Democrat State Senator. So this is a state senator, not a federal or senator that goes to Washington, but a state senator backs down after initially touting the use of child sex dolls to help pedophiles. I thought, what in the world is this? This is from Frankfort, Kentucky. So I'm thinking that's the capital of Kentucky. Pat Droney starts off with, how do these people get elected?
That's
a good question, Pat.
Yeah.
A Kentucky State Senator last week touted the use of child sex dolls for minor attracted persons, also known as pedophiles, claiming their use could reduce the likelihood of such people abusing children. So apparently, Gary, there's a market. I didn't know these things existed.
Me either.
Sadly, it doesn't surprise me. Mm-hmm. But there are are dolls that pedophiles get a hold of to use in replace of minors.
Mm-hmm.
And
disgusting.
it's unbelievable.
It really is.
It's just, this is vile.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Senator Karen Berg, a Louisville Democrat, claimed research she came across claims such dolls give pedophiles a release, which then helps prevent or reduce attacks on children. So what she's saying is she wants to legalize these pedophiles or stop this law from passing.
Mm-hmm.
Originally what she said, that will outlaw these dolls because they help prevent or reduce attacks,
Mm-hmm.
because they give them a release. That's just going to be a delayed thing. That could even increase it.
Exactly.
And she said, and I watched her video. I don't know if you got a chance to watch the video when she talked about this.
I didn't.
But I watched a video when she was talking about this. And she said, well, the research, it's really not verified research, but I saw some stuff on the internet. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. She saw some stuff on the internet. In a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing last week where Kentucky lawmakers were discussing House Bill 207, Berg said that she used Google to research child sex dolls for what she called MAPS. That's an acronym for Minor Attracted Persons. Isn't that crazy?
It is.
I mean, they're pedophiles.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to lessen the blunt by making this like it's acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's okay to be sexually attracted to juveniles.
Exactly.
It's not.
No, it is not.
Okay.
And I fully agree to throw that out just in the beginning, that it is my belief that it would just increase that wanting to actually go attack a young child.
It would increase that behavior.
Yeah.
And as expected, Berg's statement provoked outrage when her remarks were posted on X, formerly Twitter. In her remarks, Berg said the following. This is a quote from her. Quote, "For people who are attracted to minors, that these dolls actually decrease their proclivity to go out and attack children. That it actually gives them a release that makes them less likely to go out of their home," she said. End quote, she said. Then claimed that the research didn't support the same conclusion for adult-attracted individuals.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's like, okay, this just works for those that are attracted to juveniles,
Mm-hmm.
the pedophiles, but that same, you got them adult things, that doesn't work for, I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's not right.
Berg admitted that research on the subject is not very good. Oh, yeah. And not comprehensive, but claimed it as conclusive. So, well, it kind of indicates that maybe, sort of. After getting slammed for her remarks, Berg tried to backpedal in a statement released Friday. And this came out on March the 2nd, so about a month ago. She said this, quote, "As a mom and a physician," so she's a medical doctor.
Yeah.
Wow. "As a mom and a physician, I am, of course, deeply concerned with the harm of pedophilia, and I regret if my question in committee didn't convey that. I voted in favor of House Bill 207 to outlaw child sex dolls." So she did change her stance and voted in favor of the law. Continuing on, "A stance that aligns with my commitment to safeguarding the well-being of our youth and holding perpetrators accountable." So apparently, Gary, she changed her stance when there was an outrage against it. It's just that people, so it's just, how would somebody even think that? How could a physician, without doing thorough research from certified studies, say things like that?
Yeah.
And just on their face, how can you encourage pedophilia?
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason to do that.
Mm-mm.
None whatsoever. You know, but that's going a lot. There's so many people trying to force mainstreaming deviant behavior,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to say it's mainstream. It's not.
No.
It's just it's clearly not. And you know, I was listening. I'm going to get a little bit off topic here, but that's okay. It's my show.
Yeah, it is. You do what you want, Tim Rupp.
Thank you. A lot of people, that's just your opinion, Tim. I was listening to a pastor the other day. He was preaching, and they were talking about Christians and talking about Christian beliefs. We have a basis for our beliefs. It's called the Bible. Mm-hmm. It's not just my opinion. It's not just what Tim thought of. It's not what maybe my dad or my parents taught me, or something I learned in school, or something I learned when I was in college or postgraduate work. It's not something I just came up with. Mm-hmm. The standards are set there in Scripture.
Right.
And we believe as Christians that God is the author of the Bible, mm-hmm. and He wrote the standards. We do not deviate from the standards that God wrote.
Correct.
And God Himself created sexual relationships. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing wrong. Sexual relationships are good, but they're designed to be in a covenant relationship of marriage.
Yes.
That's where they're designed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And when sexual relationships are kept to sexual relations between a woman and a man in the covenant of marriage, harm does not come. Mm-hmm. Children come from that.
That's right.
And harm does not come from that. And so it's made to be enjoyed in the constraints. It's not to be, and when it's deviant, it's outside of that. Mm-hmm. And the Bible talks about that. The Bible talks about sexual relationships outside the covenant of marriage is against God's design.
Yes.
For the way we were designed.
Mm-hmm.
And if that rubs you the wrong way, that's what the Bible says.
Right.
That's Tim Rupp's opinion.
Yep.
That's what the Bible says. My opinion is that the Bible is correct.
Mm-hmm.
And whether my opinion, it doesn't change the facts. The fact of the matter is the Bible is correct.
Very true.
I
agree.
And people trying to push that, people are more enlightened nowadays, and we've come a long ways in our, quote, evolution of mankind, and we've changed. God hasn't changed. Mm-mm. Well, the Bible's old, it's out of date. When they asked Jesus about divorce, and they were talking to Him about divorce, but He mentioned something in that context. He mentioned from the beginning it was not so that a man and a woman, and he affirmed marriage between a man and a woman. And when Jesus said that what He said was written thousands of years before Jesus was here. Mm-hmm. So it hadn't changed.
No.
And, there wasn't homosexuality at Jesus' time. Yes, there was.
Mm-hmm.
And He never affirmed that.
Mm-mm.
He never affirmed the things that deviate from God's law. Now, have we sinned and messed things up? Yeah, we have.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
We've sinned, we've messed things up. And, we have really messed things up. But the Lord has forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Jesus had to come and die on the cross to pay for our sins. And we have forgiveness, no matter what we've done.
Yeah.
We've all fallen short. The Bible tells us that too, that we have all fallen short of God's glory, and we've all done things wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And but we cannot let this deviant stuff go on in our society.
No.
Let me continue on here. The proposed bill would make possession of child sex dolls a felony, punishable by 1 to 5 years in prison. It would also make trafficking, importing, and promoting a child sex doll all felonies punishable between 5 to 10 years in prison. So that's really targeting at companies who are making these dolls.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got a company and making these dolls, don't go to Kentucky.
No. And that's in and of itself is a company that makes those?
And that's the thing. It's all money. It's all greed.
It is.
It's whatever. It's just, wow. In addition, the bill would also include computer-generated images of minors, such as those generated by artificial intelligence. Here's another thing. AI, artificial intelligence, Gary, I don't know if you know much about. Have you talked to Scott? Scott Daniels.
Scott Daniels.
I've yet to meet Scott. He does the news here.
Yeah, I know. He's in and out so much.
I know, but so I think you are familiar a little with AI.
A little.
And there's a lot of good that comes out of it.
There is.
There's a lot of good that comes, but there's also negative things.
Yes.
And that's with
there
anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever man has developed, technology has been used for good and has been used for evil.
Yes.
And so they're getting ahead of the curve here. So use AA to Kentucky's current laws against viewing, promoting sexual images of minors. So they're not saying, so, you know, child pornography, as long as there's been child pornography around, it's been illegal. You know, when cameras came out, okay, that's illegal. They made cameras, you know, there's nothing wrong with cameras. Mm-hmm. Cameras are good, but they could be used for good or they could be used for evil. Same thing with the AI. The bill was eventually passed unanimously by the Senate Judiciary Committee and will advance to the entire Kentucky State Senate. That's encouraging that the bill was passed unanimously. So so both parties got involved with that and passed it. That's good. A similar bill was introduced in 2019 with a unanimous Senate support. However, it failed to get a floor vote in Kentucky House before that legislative session ended. The controversy comes as some are trying to claim that pedophilia is a psychological disorder and not a crime. Here we go down now.
Yeah. Oh, that is not correct in my eyes.
You go to stuff like kleptomaniac. Oh, they're just a kleptomaniac. No, they're a thief.
Exactly.
They steal things.
Yep.
Well, they got a disorder. There's breaking the law.
Mm-hmm.
An opinion piece in the New York Times claimed that pedophilia is a mental illness. Oh, here's an opinion piece in the New York Times. That's good research.
Yeah.
Is a mental illness and isn't a crime until it's acted upon. The piece claims that pedophilia should be protected under the American with Disabilities Act and that civil rights protection should be extended to pedophiles.
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe we just read that. That piece right there alone is it is not a it is a crime.
It's ridiculous. Look at this is
not a disability.
This is 2024. This is an election year.
Yeah.
This is we're going to talk a little bit about elections. We're going to have some guests that's going to be running for office here locally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get out and vote.
Please.
Vote. I mean, it's so important this year.
Yeah, it really is.
The presidential elections, the Senate elections, the congressional elections, the local elections, and I've heard so many more times. The local elections are so important, especially school board.
Yeah.
My wife worked for District 91 for many years. School board elections are so important. They directly impact what children are learning in school. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very important. Get out and vote. Run for office. You don't like what's going on? Run for office.
Run for office.
Get out and vote candidates
exactly.
that do support good principles and morals. Hey, thanks for listening in. If you have a topic, question you want to address on Cop Talk, send me an email. You can email suggestions, questions, comments, or complaints to coptalk@therev.fm. Again, that's coptalk@therev.fm. Thought from the good book? Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. Thank you for joining us and help us to make the thin blue line a strong blue line.
Cop Talk is presented by the Strong Blue Line Foundation and sponsored by Moose Ridge Coffee in Snake River Landing, Idaho Falls. Questions and comments are always welcome by email to coptalk@therev.fm. Listen, follow, leave a review, and share this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or YouTube. And visit thestrongblueline.org to learn how you can be a supporter. Cop Talk is a Rev FM production, produced and edited by Gary Austin. Thank you for joining us on Cop Talk.